queens of the Stone Age toms. You want some massive toms?
It's tom drum time.
We want massive toms.
Massive toms.
I did every trick in recording toms today, and I'm going to show you every single one of them. Sounds a little something like this. Now, because I am a massive idiot, I actually didn't record any of the setup. I just recorded the takes of Nick play. I don't know, man. I was just get excited. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a goddamn engineer. Y'all lucky I can even do this at all. So y'all just have to watch the TikTok video I made from the whole thing and appreciate it for what it is because, you know, it's the best I could do. Nick and I are doing the ultimate tom recording today. Just for funsies, we had to, but check us out. So we got all the normal stuff, but then I added bottom mics to everything, to all the toms. So all the toms have bottom mics on them as well. And then also, I got a set of speakers in here blasting out into the room as well. Give him a little kick snare tom. Yeah, that shit is massive. Woo! All right, so I put those speakers in the room. I'm sending out just the kick, the snare, and the toms into those speakers to really fill up the room. That's going to make those room mics really big. That is trick numero uno. Reamping into the room. Now, one of the things that I don't talk about in that setup is that I have, if you've noticed, that those speakers are in line with the front of the kick drum. And I'm doing that essentially for some sort of phase cohesiveness because there's going to be a whole like coming in here, going back out there. There's going to be some latency, but I'm trying to get it as close as possible. The worst thing you'd want is to have a flam happening in those rooms because there's happening at slightly different times. Now, sometimes that's kind of cool. So don't get it all twisted, but that's what I was doing. Now, here's the actual miking setup. I feel like Queens of the Stone Age in here. So it's 421 top, SM7 bottom, prototype mic bottom, 421 top, 421 top, prototype mic bottom. Then I got the kick in and the snare also going to the speakers in the room. Now, in addition to what I showed you, I had this space pair of AC9s on overheads, and in the middle there, that's a ribbon microphone that I picked up from somewhere. It's a no-name, don't worry about it, it's nothing special, but it does have a sound. And then, I also had this single mono room in the whole mix, and I had in the very, very back, in my bathroom, what I normally do, is a super far room mic. So that's going to be trick number 3, I guess. I don't know. I'm not keeping track of these things. You shouldn't be either. All I'm saying is that you should do all these things. If you're trying to get these big tom sounds, you got to have those top and bottom mics. You got to have those reamp in the room. You got to have that mono overhead ribbon. I'll show you in a minute how fucking crunchy and pumpy that is going to give us. And that far room mic, that close room mic, both of those with those drums pumped back into the room. Chef's kiss. We're going to get there with the Queens of the Stone Age, I'm telling you. So let's go take a look at what was going on inside of Pro Tools so that you can be in the same game with me. All right, we're here inside Pro Tools, and I'm going to be straight up with you. I could have very easily just done a phase flip on every single one of these channels, and I think I even started with that just for tracking because auto-align isn't like a tracking thing. It's for later. But whenever I started, I just checked the phase on everything, made sure it was all good between the tops and the bottoms. Sometimes I had to flip the phase on the bottoms. I think I flipped the phase on all 3 bottom mics, but I'm not doing that because I am a grown-ass man and I can afford plugins, and I bought Autoline too. I don't think it's cheating to use plugins like this. Do I do it often? No. Whenever I'm trying to do the punchiest, most specific thing, I will throw Autoline 2 on there. However, it's about 50-50. I'm going to be honest with you. About 50% of the time, it makes things way fucking worse. It screws everything up, and I hate it. So I go at it with a bit of of panache. I go at it with a little bit of style. If it makes it better, cool, you get to live. If it doesn't make it better, then you get out of there. So it did, in fact, make it better, and so it got to stay. Now, on my drums, there's not much going on otherwise, these auto aligns on here, but just a quick Saturn to give a little bit more punch in the kick drum. I'll let you hear what that sounds like. I would call this trick number 5. I don't know what number we're on. Just get over it. It's trick another one. Gates. Gates. You want big drums. Look at this. All right. Listen to how much resonance without the gate there is on these low toms. They ring forever, and that is going to cause all sorts of muddiness in our low end. What we want is we want to gate those to keep those out of the main drum mix. Now listen to them. So that is, I don't know, we're on trick number 10 or whatever, because I also have a little bit of tom verb going. Right? This tom verb is going to give us just that little bit of room back without giving us all that muddy down bottom bullshit. I'm using the Valhalla room. I'm using the Narcissus. If you don't know, this is from Aliens. The Narcissus is a ship. So is the Nostromo, Sulaco, and LV-426 is the moon that they crash on. There's your little pro tip of the day to know that this is based on Aliens. Fucking A, man. Anyway. So I got a little bit of that verb on there to bring us back a little bit so we have a little bit of space still on these drums. Now, in addition to that, oh, there's so many things going on up in this Pro Tools session. In addition to that, on each of the tom tops, I have a bit of this 200 to 300 range on these tom drums to really just emphasize the thumpiness of the low end of these toms. It's going to make these things fat and heavy, and they're going to sound amazing. Let's just compare real quick. Now, while you're here listening to this, let's also compare what it sounds like to have just the tom top, or just, let's say, just the tops of the toms. And I'll take out the bottoms, and then we'll add those bottoms in as well. I mean, we are talking like some real bottom added. If you're not listening in headphones or on your speakers and you're trying to ascertain these things with me, I mean, this is your own fault you're not hearing it. All right, so remember I said we were going to talk about that mono kit overhead, the ribbon microphone. That's this ribbon right here. Now, in comparison to those overheads sound great. I'm going to put these overheads on real quick. Those overheads sound good, but listen to what happens when I just add the mono to those overheads. It is adding so much body to that mix. That is fucking punchy and thick and soupy down there. Well, it's not soupy. It's not soupy. Don't call it soupy. Don't call my drums soupy. I'll fucking punch you in the face. But that shit is giving some heavy, heavy tone. And on that, I'm just throwing on a little bit of this DBX 160 and giving it a good smash. Next up after that, we're going to have a little bit of that mono room. Remember, I'm pumping those kick, snare, and toms back into the room. And that is thick and heavy and way more toms than we'd normally get. And I also got a Fairchild sitting on that too. And then we got that far room as well. Woo! Hot shit! Get in line. Listen to how fucking heavy that is. Now let's listen to this all together. And I'm going to bring in the far room and the mono room and see how much of a big difference this is going to make whenever I do this. Now, I made a decision for those two things to be mono, and many of you will think to yourselves, why would you do such a thing? But the reason why is because when you have far rooms that are stereo, sometimes they get in the way of the spread of those toms. I wanted those toms to be the widest thing. By adding in the decay of those rooms in stereo, that would have been too thick on the outside for me, and I would feel like that typically muddies up my very punchy tom sound. So I do a mono reverb or a mono room sound for both of those things because I still want that far away feel, but I don't want it to be all soupy in my rooms. I still have so many tricks left for you. This could have been a course. I could have made this a course. This should have been a course. I should have chopped this down to 5 minutes and made it a course. Should have sold this on the internet for money, but instead I'm just giving it to you on YouTube for free. I'll probably still give it away for money. The next trick that we're going to talk about, I am going to do on all of these toms parallel saturation. What I'm going to do, instead of parallel compression, everybody loves parallel compression. I, personally, big fan, parallel saturation. In this case, I'm going to take these tops from all of these toms, just the tops. I don't need both. Tops have more attack. They're more, so I'm going to add this parallel saturation to this. Now, here is what it sounds like with and without. Again, adding a ton of attack, adding a ton of crunch to what's going on with these drums and really bringing them forward in your face. This is how I like to get super punchy toms. So I have unending amounts of trick. I've given you so many tricks already, right? There's still more. I'm going to do us all a favor. I'm going to show my drum bus. Not a lot going on here, just a couple dB of boost at the top, taking out a little bit of the mud that I'm probably getting from all of this shit that I'm adding in here. And then also SSL G-Bus. Not getting a lot. Just 3 dB of compression. And now you notice my attack is at like 1 millisecond. I like that around that area just because it lets that initial transient through, that real cracky crack. And then after that, it is pumping up that low end of the kick, right? Now, another trick. Oh my God, I told you, toms have so many tricks. I could do this all day long and never. This is just one style of this type of thing that I could do. I could do this 7 more ways easily. The next thing is I had Nick do 2 passes. One where he played no cymbals and one where he did play the cymbals. Just so that y'all could hear the difference. When I'm doing all this compression on this track, all this compression to get all these toms going, all this gating to keep the toms clean and everything, the cymbals are going to start getting shitty, right? It's like they're going to get cut out of things that are getting gated. They're going to bleed into some stuff and not. There's going to be so much compression happening that you're going to be able to hear it, and it's going to be the worst. So here is this exact section no cymbals. Now I can show you exactly how this is helpful, because I'm going to mute this and I'm going to go up to the take right before that where we did have Nick play the cymbals. Listen to how smashed these cymbals are, how crunchy and crushed they are. Now, that can also be a sound. It wasn't the sound I was going for, so I didn't fucking do it. I fucking hate the amount of people that be like, that's stupid, that's a waste of time. Yeah, it's not a waste of time if it makes your job easier and it sounds good. It's only a waste of time if it sucks and you can't use it, which I don't believe in. I only do things that are fucking awesome. So fuck you guys and your stupid fucking comments. I don't give a shit. Leave them. Leave the fucking comments. Leave all your stupid comments. I don't care. I read every single one. I read every comment, and I have a problem, and I need validation from everyone. All right, so I had Nick play one with the cymbals and one without. This is without the cymbals. Then we add the cymbals back in. And now we can adjust those cymbals up and down independently of the rest of the mix, and it does not fuck with the rest of the drum mix. Now, does it take a special drummer to be able to do this? Sometimes. It's not impossible, but some drummers aren't very good, and it's hard for them to do this. Nick is a really, really good drummer. He is an A-class drummer. He is here in my studio all the time doing stuff. I know what he can accomplish, and he can accomplish that easily, and that makes things so easy. I can compress all of the drums super hard and not compress these cymbals even the tiniest bit, and they're so live and so open, and the drums sound so thumpy and crunchy and fucking delicious. All right. And that is, other than composition, I'd say all of the tom tricks for big ass toms. I really, truly, actually, I lie. There's probably one. I could have doubled all of these toms, and I think I did consider doing that, but it just started getting too messy, and I didn't like the feel of the loop that was required to do it, so I didn't do it. But the next step, if you wanted to, would be to also do one more pass where you just double every single tom hit through the entire song. Just have your drummer play along, double every single. Now, is it going to make it sound super fucking... Yes, probably, and you'll have to go through and quantize. I love the fucking feel that Nick has on this track. It's so nice and clean and tight, yet still stays consistent across the whole track and has feel. Like, that's what I'm looking for, because if a drummer has feel, has a really good sense of time, I can allow them to float across the track. You can feel in some of these fills, he's rushing or dragging depending on how the fill needs to feel, and that is what I want. Like, the snares on some of these are so brilliant. They sound amazing. There's just ever so slightly of a push and a drag in there, but it's just, it is exactly what you want to feel to make a track feel alive still. Now, for all you giant drum fans, I'll let you watch Nick play a take. He crushed this take. This is the last take he did. Let's take a look.
Yeah, it's fire.
Yeah, dope.
Cool.
No,
Pass.
I think that was close. Like pretty
It's good enough for sure.
Yeah, cool.
Thanks to Nick Adams for playing drums on that, and thanks to me for making the entire rest of this song, staying up all night and going on a bender just so that I could make it for you, and playing that killer fucking guitar solo. God damn, that shit was hot. All right. Thank you for watching the entirety of this video, which will undoubtedly be 20 minutes fucking long. If it helped you, leave a comment. If it didn't help you, leave a comment. If you hate me, leave a comment. If you love me, leave a comment. If you want to watch me eat a bag of scorpions, leave a fucking comment. Like my shit, send me money. Join my Patreon, watch my Mix Mondays, and check me out on TikTok and Instagram. I am Greazy Will. You have been somebody who watches some stupid shit like this on the internet. Goodbye.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, let's not. We'll really. It's almost there.
Yeah,
It's almost just like a perfect take.
Yeah, there's a couple weird little things.
No, it sounds so good though.